Good afternoon, everyone. Going to do a quick live here because I was planning on doing a liver drag today with her. I've got it thawed out. My problem is I don't have a helper, and I need a helper for it. And I realized that my plan was to do that liver drag today, and my plan, Chris Verts, welcome Chris. Sit. So my plan was to do the liver drag with the pup today, but I don't have a second person, and I really need a second person for it, for doing these first early drags. But I do have it thawed out, so I'll be able to do that. Kaylee, hey Kaylee. So it's a little after 3. I have to go pick up our daughter from school at 3:30, and then I have to go and pick up my son from school, and then we've got a basketball game tonight that we're going to. So I'm not going to be able to go live tonight, so I wanted to do a quick live. I know it's a really strange time to do it, but Stephanie's in. Naomi, how are you? Kaylee, Hunter's in. So I want to show you guys. I'm going to use this as a chance to just get a little bit totally fitting training into my schedule today, because I've been running. I had a meeting with Cabela's earlier this morning that went really good, so maybe some interesting stuff that might come out of that. So I was in town. I was at my daughter's lunch today. I went to Red's lunch. So I've been running a bunch today, and just my schedule's a little off. But I still fed her this morning like I normally do. I got some value out of that. And now what I want to do is build off of last night. If you guys watched last night, if you haven't had a chance, you can always go back and watch these on Facebook. That's the nice part about them. I'm still getting remote sit here, so I'm just going to turn a light on because it's kind of dark in the kitchen right now. I brought the pup with me today, so she was with me running all over the place. I just got home. I've got 20 minutes until I have to go pick up Sierra from school. So I'm going to do a quick heel work lesson that is going to build off of last night's. So if you watched last night, it was the first time we've done it. I'm going to do the same thing that we did last night. I'm going to walk a straight line. A couple things that I noticed. I watched it last night. A couple things that I noticed that I think are interesting for you guys to watch is the tile on my floor is helping me. When I walk a line, and I walk a real straight one. So I did that with Ellie last night, and I was making these turns, and I was trying to get her to turn with me. So I'm not nearly as picky about that with her, with Spry, because she's so little, and she's just so new to this. All I'm trying to do is, last night she had a tendency to stay back a little bit, so I sped up a little bit. I put a little more life into it. You can see she's not so sure about this leash. So one of the things I'm trying to get her used to is the idea that something's going to be hanging from her neck, and she just ignores it. Doesn't bite on it, doesn't play with it. She's just bringing her paw up and trying to paw at it a little bit. So what I want to do is, if I can, spin the flat collar around so that it's up towards the top. There's her escape. Come on. I'm going to spin it so that it sits on her shoulder blades. Less tempting for her that way. So it's uncomfortable for her though. So she's kind of fussing with it a little bit. I want to keep that out of her, try to keep it out of her mouth. So we tied out successfully for about a week before I ever did this. So that's an important stepping stone. Just adding layers to this thing. So now what I want to do is I want to get her, yesterday she lagged behind, and I had to get a little more excited, and I'd pat my side of my hip, and I'd get her to keep up with me. If the dog wants to go slow, I go fast. If the dog wants to go fast, I slow down. It's finding balance with that. So I'm just going to work with heel for her for 5 minutes probably. And then I'm going to have to button this up and keep going. But I wanted to get a lesson in today, and I wanted to show you guys, this is stuff that I got a window of opportunity. So I'm going to take advantage of it. I got emails to do. I got text messages to get back to. I've got different stuff. But I'm going to take this 10, 15 minutes and just get a quick lesson in. I'm not going to do the liver drag today because I don't have a second person, but it's thawed out and it's ready to go, so my plan is to have that done tomorrow. So I'm going to get her up here. Come on. Sit. Very good. Spry, heel. Come on. See how she's a little more bold today. Come on. Good. Pretty good. She's about a foot behind where I want her. Come on. Good girl. Come on. Sit. Sit. That's right where I want her. Good, Spry. Good girl. So she started out a little bold, and come on. And I corrected it. And I corrected it probably a little bit too much. And so now all of a sudden I've got her back into her foot and a half behind me, where I prefer her to be a little bit further ahead. I don't mind foot and a half behind. I do mind a foot and a half ahead. So I'm not worried about it, but I shouldn't, thinking back on this right now, the last time I started out, she started out with a lot of enthusiasm, and I was really quick to put a little snap to her neck, and I probably didn't need to do that. Probably shouldn't have. Come on. She's too far behind. Good girl. Come on. No. Come on. Very good. Very good. Come on. See how she's really lagging behind? She's at one pace. She's at one speed. And I think it's because she's just not very comfortable. She's okay. Her tail's wagging, and so that tells me she's all right. Come on. Very good. So I'm just going to go for a little short walk here. I'm going to take like 3 steps and get her to encourage her to come to me. Come on. Good girl. Come on. Good. All I'm doing now is trying to build her confidence. Now she's getting a little feisty. I'm trying to get that out of her. I'm trying to get a little feistiness out of her. Come on. Good girl. Come on. Good girl. I like that more. Come on. Good. No, come on. Good girl. Come on. See, I'm trying to read her body language. I'm trying to pick her pace up a little bit. So I'm going to do it again where we're going to go real short with her. Sit. Good. Spry, heel. Very good. Sit. That was a much better little short. So she was with me, real short, but it was good, and I ended it with a sit. Good. Sit. Good. Spry. Good. Sit. Good. Drop the leash here. Spry. Come on. No. No. So you can see that leash is bugging her a little bit today. Come on. No. Not going to let her nip at it. Come on. Good girl. I'm going to try to end it now. No. I want to end it positive. Sit. Good. No. Good. Spry. Come on. Sit. Very good. And I'm going to end it. That's it. Good. Couple things. I'm going to take the leash off. Sit. Good. Couple things. It was real short. It took us, I think, 4 minutes that we did that. It was pretty good. I'm not going to complain about it. But the problem I had with it was in the middle there, I got her, she got pretty distracted with the leash. She nipped at it a little bit. She kind of got, I asked for her to get kind of a little spunky. I tried to get her energy up a little bit, tried to get a little bit more out of her, and I got it. And then all of a sudden she got distracted to the leash. And so I had to get that back, and I think I did. And I ended it. One thing I really liked was the short, where we just did a very short, the last time we went out, we took like 3 or 4 steps, and she was right there with me. Her energy was really good. I had her sit, I had her start. I took maybe 3 long steps. She was right there with me. And then I stopped, had her sit again. That's what I'm trying to replicate. That's the position that I want her to start to understand. I'm not having any issues with her giving to the neck. When she feels, first off, she's not going out and pulling on me. So if she does, like she did the very first time I started walking, she jutted out. and I gave her just a touch. I tapped her, probably too much. And after that, she went behind me, and she stayed a foot behind me, which is okay. I'd rather have it behind than in front. Sit. But that's because I put the pressure on her neck, and she understood, turn the pressure off, just go back to wherever that source came from. When we tied her out on a stake, it's the stake. When I tied her out against the garage door wall at our shop, it was that. She learned to turn the pressure off by getting closer to it. I put pressure on her. She learned to get closer to me to turn the pressure off. So I don't have any... Sit. These are probably too long a sits for her. I don't have any issue with her so far on this heel. I think the shorter, the better. So I wouldn't take her... I took her for a walk this morning with the other dogs. Short. Maybe a half a mile total, but off lead, that's too far of a walk for her on lead. It's just too much. All I'm trying to do is get her used to having something with the weight around her neck and figuring out the position she needs to get into. So that was good. I'm going to live with that. I'm going to go through here quick and see if there's any quick questions. Finally made it one live. Hunter, welcome, Hunter. So I expect, because it's a weird time today that I'm doing them, some people are probably new to watching these. So welcome anyone who's new. Please do us a favor and share them. These are meant to be real interactive. So the more people that are watching, the more questions that come up, the better. I'm just a little bit pressed for time is all, and that's why I'm doing it at a strange time. I used your scent for my golden retriever, and he picked it up like his job. Awesome. March Madness indeed, Chris. Finally got on one of your live sessions instead of watching later. So see, Cody's in on one to be able to catch it live. Curtis Carlson was in. Jay Roberts, Mackenzie, Mike, Eric Garlock, and Eric Yeager. Clint, Mackenzie says she's beautiful. She is. Nice little pup. KM Cutters is in. Welcome, KM Cutters. How's Jason doing? How is that dog doing with eating, KM Cutters? Rhett, Carrie, Drusilla, Brian Calvert. Brian's in. The Hound Man from down south. Cole, Mike, Brian. Dixie is with Brian in on this. Adding layers. That's exactly what we did, Mike. We just added another little layer. We really did the same thing we did last night. I think last night she did very well, probably better than she did today. Last night I don't think she knew what she was in for. She didn't know what was going on last night. She just happened to do it very well. So that's good, and I need to now replicate it and replicate it and replicate it. And then once I figure out that she does know what she's doing, then I'm going to replicate it in a new area. We're not starting heel work outside for a reason. Too many distractions, way too much scent. That little dog's nose would be on the ground constantly. The last thing I want to do is turn her off of using her nose right now. So we're going to get heel habits done on this hard floor in my house with less scent. Then I'm going to go outside and I'm going to do it on concrete or asphalt. Then I might think about gravel. Eventually, after heel is good, we'll start heeling on grass. But heeling on grass is a real challenge for most dogs because they want to have that nose down. Naomi, good for my son to watch, for him and Doc. Love it. I hope you've been able to follow some of these older ones, Naomi. For you guys that are new, Cable, we've seen Cable in before. David Terry's in. Too long of a sit. My mistake. I shouldn't have left her on such a long sit. So right now, the thing to do would be to put her on place. Taylor's on place here. Come here, little girl. I don't want to call her off. So come on. Good girl. I'm going to bring her over. Come on. Get up. Come on, get up. Place. Good girl. Now, I have a real sense of comfort that she's not going anywhere. So I don't have to worry about her at this point. Why do trainers use lead with no hand loop? I don't know, I guess. I don't know that I need the hand loop. When you say the hand loop at the end, I guess, these are just short leashes. I'm going to talk about these leashes a little bit more as we get into it. This is what the Wild Rose combination lead. It's a chopped up lead. I don't know, Jay. I guess I don't need a hand loop, probably because we're going to talk about this for positioning. that's mechanics. And so having your hands on the lead the right way when the dog gets to a certain age is going to be important so that you can get correction. If you don't put your hands in the right spots, and the end of the leash is not where I'm going to be holding. I'm going to be holding in 2 spots, depending on my size and the size of the dog. Set her up for success. Let's move her away from that. So the loop for me might be handy to maybe hook it onto something quickly, but I don't really need it very often. So back with Naomi making her comment, her son's able to watch it. I hope you guys are, some of the people that are new, this is something that has been going on for like 5 weeks. So go back. That's the nice part about Facebook. You can go back and you can see where this puppy started. It didn't look like this to start. So it is a process. I don't see a lot of change day to day. I see very little change day to day. But I also realize that all I got to do is go back a week, and I'll see a lot of change. So this is a micro version of the macro when it comes to dog training. Dog training takes a long time to get to where we're going to get, and I think it's always ongoing. So Eric says I pronounced his name right. That's because I took German in high school, man. And I may have had a Jägermeister a time or two in my life. Remy and I are here. That was Elizabeth Ann getting another pup in May, so trying to learn as much as you can. This is perfect. You can you can go back on these anytime too, so that's a nice part. You can never have too much information. That's right. Trevor Olson joined in late. So I'm going to wrap this up, guys. This is just a really short lesson that I got in about 15 minutes on heel work with Spry, and it's just an extension of what we worked on last night, and now I just did it at a different time in the exact same place, and she did okay. She's not great. She doesn't know what she's doing yet. That's why she wasn't great. So I don't expect them to just inherently understand heel. That's not something that's very natural to them. So it's going to take a while, and she's going to have to make some mistakes along this way that I can correct her on so she can learn. Just like everything else she's done, she's made a few mistakes, and then I get to correct her, and then she understands what it is I'm looking for. So that's part of the process. So we're going to look for that. Our officers train the drug dogs in German for some reason. Probably Schutzhounds. They're probably shepherds or Malinois, the Dutch style dog. I've seen that a ton of times where they're using German. Am I doing another video tonight? Mark asked. Probably not. The game is at 7, so we're going to be home so late. So I probably won't. This dog will actually probably get fed tonight. Steph will probably feed her. She'll do it the same way. I did it. See how she caught herself? I did it the same way this morning. I just didn't show it. This morning what I did was I did a little recall. I fed the 2 big dogs in front, and then I sent her into her little kennel because Ellie was in her big kennel. So I sent her into the little kennel to eat tonight. So we probably, Jeff, you can watch it. We just did a real short heel work is all. Got a little session in. Not going to get to the liver drag today, guys. I will tomorrow. I need a second person, and I don't have it. And with the schedule today, we're just not able to do it. So I got to run, guys. I got to go pick up a kid from school, a couple kids from school, and then we are committed tonight to a basketball game. So probably won't be live tonight, but we will be tomorrow. And keep tuned so that you'll be able to see these first little liver drags. So you guys have a great rest of your day. Missy joined in late. Missy, we just did a short one on some heel work. So you guys take care. I will talk with you guys later. We'll see you tomorrow. And one other thing, we're going to be in Milwaukee. So if you guys are around the Milwaukee area, we're going to be at the Journal-Sentinel Sports Show Saturday doing a seminar at 6:30 and Sunday morning doing a seminar at 11:30. We're going to be talking about foundation work and shed dog training. So talk with you guys later. Have a great rest of the afternoon.